Samsung SmartThings is one of the most popular smart home systems on the planet, and yet we are seeing stock levels on the hubs and sensors drop down to zero. Plus, we've actually seen employees confirm that the whole lineup is discontinued. And of course, this has sent people that own Samsung SmartThings and have built their whole home around that system into a panic. So today, I'm going to help you not just understand the good and the bad with this situation, but to navigate it as well. Many years ago, I went out and bought SmartThings, and since that time, I've really enjoyed a lot of the system. It's never been absolutely perfect, but I went out and I loved it so much that I brought it onto the channel when I purchased the V2 Hub. And since that time, I've gotten deeper and deeper on the channel and into this system, and so I brought many of you along with me for that ride. So as I watched stock levels dwindle, and I think we got a little bit of a preview here in Canada because we started to see the SmartThings sensors go out of stock quite often here. And when I started to see that happening, plus some of the changes that were going on at Samsung and some of the discussions I heard that were going on within the company, and these are just things you hear when you're in this industry and you're talking to so many people, you will eventually hear a couple of things, and if you're listening, you might start to ask questions, and that's exactly what I did. I reached out to Samsung and tried to get contacts, and I managed to make a few, and that helped me get little tidbits of information to bring into some of our update videos, and also an opportunity to ask a few questions. So then it came to the point where the stock levels were clearly an issue, and we had a couple other news stories come out, and so I went and straight up asked Samsung, what are you doing with the hardware? Where is this going? And they clammed up from that moment on. And I never had another full-length conversation with anybody at Samsung from that point on. And so this has been personally a very frustrating couple of months here because I asked it a while ago, but it also gave me time to start digging into some of those other sources I had and try to figure out why they wouldn't answer that question. And the first reason is money. And when you're in a growing smart home industry like we are, that's always going to be the first answer as to why. But you think about the effort level that it takes for a company like Samsung to build a set of smart home devices. You think about advancements in sensors. You think about having to design and manufacture and then place these products at different retailers. That's a lot of effort to go into what has over time become a relatively low margin. Because over time what's happening here in the industry is that we're switching from, devices or one-off devices to more of a commodity basis. And that means that other competitors can enter into the market very easily because they're already kind of pre-designed components for the smart home space. So what we're seeing right now is companies like Wise come out and offer sensors for $5, and maybe they don't work as great, but they still work. And so a lot of people will go and buy those, and that cuts the margin even more for a company, especially a big company like Samsung. So while I can't give you a definitive, there will never be another Samsung SmartThings product, I can pretty much say that at this point, not from Samsung directly. And this explains a lot of the devices that we saw being designed and displayed by Samsung and then pulled back and never actually coming to market. But what I can confirm for you is that Samsung SmartThings isn't just going away. It's not Samsung suddenly retreating from the market. This is an entirely different thing. And we saw this with Google and Nest very recently. Eventually, the smaller company that was acquired by the bigger company has to come along for the ride and partake in the goals of the larger company. And that's really what we saw happen with Nest. It had to become the helpful home. And here we have the same thing going on between Samsung and what used to be SmartThings. This process takes a number of years, and I was actually part of a few of these kinds of mergers in my time in industry, and they're painful, but they take time. And so we've had enough time now for SmartThings to go out, develop as a platform, and Samsung to really see where they could position this platform. So now they're making those adjustments, and there's the parts of the overall plan that they've shared with the public. And I'll say right now, if you go look on SmartThings and their forums, you can find a big 3-phase plan for all the changes that are coming to Samsung SmartThings. But company plans like the ones that I'm sure exist within Samsung don't get shared outside into the public. Lately, my home has been a little more difficult to live within because there's been some unreliability within SmartThings, and this is because the platform is undergoing one of those phases of that big 3-phase plan. And you think about the new application and the removal of things like Echo Speaks, and lots of the unreliability is related to all of these changes going on in the background. But the other changes are more around what developers will be able to do with the platform, and this gives us an indication of the shifts coming. See, not only will companies be able to better integrate with Samsung SmartThings in the future because of these changes, the platform is being set up for Samsung to become more of a licensee, or more of like a franchise owner. And what they're going to do is give out the software and the platform, or sell that software and platform to other companies to produce hardware. And we've actually already seen this occur in Europe. And a company called AOTech, which I've shown a few times here on the channel, they have some Z-Wave devices that they often sell here that go into Samsung SmartThings really well. Well, they've struck an agreement, and now they're an official licensed partner of SmartThings. But what this has also allowed them to do is to produce a SmartThings Hub. So they have a hub and they have premier placement inside of the SmartThings application for that European market. You'll actually see them there, and you can add them as a hub. So this is the path forward for Samsung SmartThings, and we're going to see similar deals in the US and UK and Canada and all of these other countries around the world. We will see these agreements get in place. Now, what that's going to mean for you right now is that you're going to have a hard time finding sensors directly from Samsung. And so I'm actually working on some content to help you find replacements. But in general, if you're out there and you think about a company like AOTech, they have great Z-Wave sensors, and there's a number of great sensors that you can look for that work with Samsung SmartThings. And of course, many Zigbee bulbs and Z-Wave bulbs work. I have a ton of different products here that I've shown on the channel. So I put together a playlist that will actually help you look at a number of products that work with Samsung SmartThings today that you can go and purchase. So go check out that playlist. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. And of course, don't hate, automate.